I wanted to get your response to what the TWU, which reps the carriage drivers, has had to say about this horse rider when this horse has collapsed. They say it was a neurological disease. What information do you have?
There was no blood test given of this horse, so no one knows what was wrong with Ryder. But either way, this is a sick horse being forced to pull a carriage in Midtown on a very hot and humid day, and we've seen this story so many times. Every few weeks, horses are dropping dead in their stables. They are crashing into vehicles in traffic. They are collapsing on the street from being overworked or worked while sick. This is an emergency situation, and we are desperately calling on Speaker Adrian Adams, the City Council, to fast-track Bill number 573 that would finally get these abused horses off of the street and replace them with 21st century electric carriages that don't rely on abused horses who spook in traffic, injure pedestrians, and drop dead on the streets. It's a very simple solution. This has got to end. Millions of people around the world have seen the video, the horrific video of this horse on the hot pavement for over an hour with no vet care, and are outraged and cannot understand how New York City allows this.
Adita, I just want to present our listeners with the other side. We spoke with somebody who drives a carriage horse, and take a listen to what she had to say about this particular incident.
We have the privilege of working with living beings, and the horses are magnificent animals, and wherever you have living things that aren't cold machines, you know, they trip, they fall.
Your reaction?
They are literally treating them as machines. They're chaining them up in Midtown traffic, working them while they are sick. We have documentation of emaciated horses being worked, ribs jutting out, open sores, arthritis, lameness in their legs. That's exactly the point. They're treating these horses like machines. This is animal abuse happening right out in the open, and it's a shame on New York City, to our shame, that we're still allowing this when most other large cities around the world have removed horse carriages from our streets because of their cruelty, because of the public safety risks. It's 2022, not 1822.
And this debate has been going on for a long time here in the city. Will it be different this time? Will we ultimately see the carriages replaced with electric carriages, machines?
Look, we have a new city council, we have a new mayor. There's been one horror after another, as I said, happening every few weeks. Public awareness and outrage and education is growing. There's no place in modern-day New York City for these horses. They are being abused, they are dropping dead, they are being worked while sick. It's happening over and over again, and people have had enough. And that's why NICLAS is urgently calling on the City Council to fast-track Bill 573. This would be a win-win for everyone. It would actually provide better jobs for the drivers who don't have any benefits right now or worker protections. So this would be a win-win for everyone.
Gotcha. NYCLAS Executive Director Adita Burnkrant, we thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Well, we have brightening skies already, 74 degrees at 10:20. I'm Bridget Quinn, and here's what's happening. A large law enforcement presence, including FBI, in Cypress Hills, Brooklyn right now, after a man is found dead in his apartment along with canisters with biohazard labels. A bill being introduced in the City Council would make it easier for people with criminal records to get apartments. A live look at that coming up at the bottom of the hour with somebody from the landlord side. A rally at City Hall today to end waste sent to landfills by 2030. And also ahead, Mickey D's returns to Russia. AccuWeather says sunshine returns today with a high of 86 degrees. And at 10:21, traffic and transit now. Jody Bell.
And Bridget, let's go to Queens. We're seeing a lot of delays. Got a stalled truck blocking that central lane southbound Cross Island at Northern Boulevard. And westbound LIE approaching Maurice Avenue. That's that crash that's blocking 2 lanes being cleared, but still plenty of jam-ups
Eastbound Bell Parkway, construction blocking that right lane right at Nassau Expressway. East River crossings looking at slowdowns from construction, Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge, and this is right at the center span, so watch out for that construction this afternoon. And also, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels on the Hudson side. In at the George, it's fine. It's about 5 to 10, but outbound, lower and upper levels, about 20 to 30 minutes. 5 to 10 in and out at the Lincoln, and we're looking at inbound delays at the Hullen. It's 25 to 30 minutes right now. Outbound's not bad. Mass transit, past trains, Newark, WTC line. Delayed crews are preparing for that mandatory Hackensack River drawbridge lift taking place right about now. Southbound F trains, more delays. NYPD assisting a passenger at J Street and Metro Tech. And I'm Jody Bale. Our next reports at 10:31 on 1010 Wins.
A Brooklyn man surrounded by canisters with biohazard labels has been found dead in his Cypress Hills apartment. On the scene for Newsline, our Samantha Liebman.
Neighbors called him John Knish because in the 60s and 70s he owned a Knish shop here. Rita Figueres says he was a veteran.
He had a lot of breathing issues. He survived cancer years ago.
Police called to the apartment Wednesday at 25 101st Avenue for a wellness check, discovering the 75-year-old decomposing, sitting in a chair inside those suspicious containers and schematics for some unknown building. Workers in the store where he often played the lottery say they hadn't seen him since July 26th when he left not feeling well. Meanwhile, Figueres' husband Stephen doesn't think he could have been up to anything nefarious.
People on the street had no food. They think he walked by here, get my money, or he was a good person.
The containers, however, prompting a massive response. Bags labeled hazmat sat on the sidewalk as the FBI cordoned off the whole block. Samantha Liebman, 1010 Wins in Cypress Hills, Brooklyn.
And a closer live look with a law enforcement expert coming up in the next half hour here at 1010 Wins Newsline. A bill being introduced in the City Council today would ban many landlords and brokers from trying to obtain a person's criminal record so they could deny them housing. A rally in favor of this bill is being held at City Hall at 11 o'clock this morning, and Newsline will take a live look at both sides of the debate beginning at the bottom of this hour. And a rally is being held at City Hall at this hour over waste. City Council Sanitation Chair Sandy Nurse telling 1010 Wins the city needs to implement a citywide composting and waste disposal and recycling program.
We want plastic and metal recycling. We want New Yorkers to be separating out this material at night or when they're putting their trash out. We want to get paper and cardboard fully separated. We should work as hard as possible.
And the goal, zero waste sent to landfills by 2030. City officials are about to announce a critical World Trade Center compensation deadline. Tens of thousands of response and recovery volunteers at Ground Zero have to file claims by a month from today, September 11th, 2022. And this is unrelated to the World Trade Center Victims Compensation Fund and has different requirements for those who have or might develop exposure-related illness. An alleged member of an Islamic State group cell nicknamed the Beatles is facing terror charges and being deported from Turkey. 38-year-old Ain Davis accused of torturing and killing Western hostages. He has another court hearing in September. Wins News Time 10:25. And a check of Bloomberg Money Watch is coming right up, but first...
I'm Lee Harris with Talk and Tech. We have more top tech for tight budgets, this time portable storage. USA Today tech columnist Mark Saltzman likes the SanDisk Ultra Dual Drive Lux, starting at $11 for 32 gigs of memory.
It's actually a 2-in-1 drive because on one end is USB-C, which plugs into most Android devices and the latest laptops and both Windows and Macs, and on the other end, a USB-A plug for legacy ports.
And to save on gaming.
So rather than paying $60 or $70 for each new game, Xbox Game Pass is a $10 a month subscription service that lets you play more than 100 high-quality games on Xbox, Windows PC, or some smart TVs like some Samsung smart TVs, and no console is required.
New titles are also included. Talk and Tech, I'm Lee Harris. And for more, click on podcasts at 1010wins.com.
Wins News Time 10:26, as promised. Now, Bloomberg Money Watch, and good morning, Steve Potisk.
Good morning, Bridget. Well, with more people keeping a closer eye on where the money goes in these inflationary times, 2 in 5 back-to-school shoppers say that inflation will change the way they shop for the upcoming school year. The Bankrate.com survey found that 95% of those shoppers will spend more time looking for deals, and that could be to search for coupons or sales, as well as buying cheaper brands, or maybe just using items from last school year this fall. A decline in wholesale prices in July, though, adding to yesterday's Wall Street optimism that followed the easing in consumer prices. The Dow right now ahead 297 points. NASDAQ up 136, while the S&P is adding 40 points. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Steve Potusk for 1010 Wins.
And coming up at the bottom of the hour, how much does your landlord need to know about you? A live look ahead.
Kinky Boots has inspired audiences around the world, and now it's back in New York. With a score by Cyndi Lauper and a book by Hari Firestein, this huge-hearted Tony-winning hit is sure to raise you up. Feel the joy this summer. Visit KinkyBootsTheMusical.com.
Make your money go further and work harder with a certified financial planner from Facet Wealth. Inflation, interest rates, stock market changes, home prices. Every advisor at Facet is a certified financial planner and fiduciary, and they're legally bound to do what's in your best interest. Facet has a simple flat fee. There are no commissions. Call 888-598-3893 for 2 months free off your first year of financial planning. That's 888-598-3893. Try FacetWealth.com. Facet Wealth is an SEC registered investment advisor. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities, nor is it investment, legal, or tax advice.
And now this message. Driving while impaired, call Isaac Abraham, traffic attorney, at 718-520-7900.
Years after Karen had both chemotherapy and surgery for breast cancer, her tumors returned.
I had one hope left, the clinical trial.
It's now been 3 years since Perlmutter Cancer